final word. Chapter 28. And the last thing done is Pertolote's doing. John Wesley Weasel did not die, but it took him a long time to accept that fact. More than ever before in his life, he developed an abhorrence for the light. It made him sick, both in body and soul, just by being light, when he should have awoken in death's darkness. It hurt his eyes, since he was, after all, a weasel, and every weasel weakness about him was intensified during his convalescence. It humiliated him, for he would catch other animals flitting odd glances at his one-eared head and at the hairless scar along his side. It angered him. The sun had never shone, never once shone upon the wee widow mouse when she was alive with him, but now that she was dead, and now that the sun had no business being, it shone with an outrageous glory. For John Wesley Weasel, sunshine now was a cruel gift, come altogether too late. So as soon as he could walk, he took himself into the darkness. There was no coop for the shade, no roof for the covering, no floor nor any space beneath a floor for the hiding. He went back to his burrow at the base of a certain maple tree. "Is no use in it," he said, and he determined never again to come out. Pertolote heard these remarks. She had been tending to the weasel all through his healing. "Mice cleans in the spring. What's that to kill for to take a house away?" When, after several days and nights, he neither came out of his burrow nor made a sound inside of it, Pertolote took the problem to Chanticleer, who dealt with it directly. "Yo, John!" he set up a clamor from the middle of the flat, empty yard. "John, yo! Wesley, yo! Weasel!" The rest of the animals he had sent to their homes, scattered about him, pecking and working with an afternoon's industry, for it was the middle of the afternoon, and the proper canonical crow had been crowed, as ever it was before the violation of the times by Worm, were 29 dutiful hens, while 7 adolescent mice buzzed between the yard and the forest, a gathering. There came no answer from the burrow. "John Wesley, laggard! Get out of there! We are not going to bring you food! We are not going to spend pity on you, and when you have wasted away, we are not going to mourn a fool's passing. Get out, and get to work! There's work to be done in this place." Work, indeed. A sea to the south of them, a little closer than the sea, the scar, which had never yet grown a single blade of grass in its clenched, poisonous soil. And then from the scar to the forest, an open space which had once been the busy center of Chanticleer's land and the coop, but was now mere open space. "It's done, John Wesley, and now the time is ours again, if we make it so. It's done, John Wesley, and now we look to the day we put it back together again." But still, from the burrow beneath the maple, nothing. "Okay, that's it, Pertolote," Chanticleer said to the hen, turning his back to the forest. "I've no time for a mope." "But it will kill him." "That's what he wants, isn't it?" "Is that what you want?" "What? I want my land made new again. I want the past scrubbed out of my soul. I want never to think of it again." "You can't help thinking about it," Pertolote said, "and you are not, Chanticleer, able to clean it out of your soul, the thing that has changed you. Do pity the weasel. He's slower with changes than you are. He needed the past and its order more than you for all of his bluster. As long as he remembers it in this way, and as long as he sulks, he's a memory for me of what happened. I'm going to forget the past, Pertolote, and if I have to forget John Wesley with it, well, so, that's the way it is." "And Mundocani?" "What?" Chanticleer bristled. "About Mundocani." "Then you forget him too?" "No!" But yes, as a matter of fact, ever since the war was done and the earth closed, Chanticleer had wanted to forget Mundocani, because there was guilt in such a memory. The dog's good act stood ever in accusation of the rooster's sinfulness. Chanticleer did not like to think of himself as a failure at the final moment. Therefore, Chanticleer did not like to think of Mundocani at all. And that, strangely, is why he was willing to talk about Mundocani to anyone and praise him vigorously. So Pertolote had not one problem but two. One whose present was too much steeped in the past, and one whose present denied the past altogether. but the hen of the crimson throat was equal to both of them, and what she did about them we might call the last and best battle of all. She talked. Chanticleer had a dread of the netherworld scar. He was never at ease sleeping on ground level with it. Therefore Pertolote had not the least trouble talking the rooster into a roost above ground. That she chose for the roost a certain maple tree at the edge of the forest was of little consequence to the rooster. Its branches were lean, clean, and low for the leap. 29 plus 1 hens and a rooster could be well accommodated by the maple, so to the maple they repaired for the night. There Chanticleer crowed both vespers and compline, and thence the hens pattered the ground below. That is to say, they flipped their tail feathers, they delivered a damp plop to the ground, and they snugly resettled themselves on the branch above. That is to say, they relieved themselves there. It was a most natural performance for the hens. They had done it all their lives. The only difference was that now they were dropping their wet packages around, near, and into John Wesley's burrow. This made for discomfort and for a very sour sulk. Who knew but Pertolote about John Wesley's new distress? Not Chanticleer. He had gone to sleep. There was much work to do in the morning. Therefore Pertolote woke him up again. "Mundo cani," she said loudly, angrily in fact. What? "Mundo cani, dog. Nothing more. Good night." But of course she had made the night instantly ungood, and Chanticleer could not go back to sleep. Pertolote's tone had been curt, forbidding, so he didn't feel that he should talk either. What was left? He tried 12 various positions, shaking the limb heartily with each one and giving Pertolote herself something to think about. Finally he burst out, "Mundo cani what?" A weasel below tried to turn his wrinkled snout from the entrance to the shaft of his burrow and failed. "He's on your mind," she snapped. "He is not!" "No, of course he isn't." "He is too!" "Of course he is." "I haven't forgotten him, Pertolote, if that's what you mean." "Nothing of the kind. You memorialize him." "But I don't dwell on him, if that's what you mean." "Ah, no. The past is the past." "Right!" For a second, Chanticleer felt satisfied that he had won the argument. Then he lost confidence and wasn't so sure anymore. Wasn't even sure what the argument had been about. Something, it seemed, was bothering Pertolote. But she had been a patient saint ever since the disappearance of the dog, so it was a sudden something. The dog. In a rush, the memory of Mundo cani filled Chanticleer's mind, and he was humbled. "Pertolote?" "What?" "I miss him." Chanticleer was speaking the truth. "Oh, Pertolote, I miss him terribly." "I know that, Chanticleer." All at once her voice was gentle and comforting. Yet she said no more than that. Much more than that she wanted to hear from the rooster, so she was letting his thoughts work inside him for a while. Chanticleer was wide awake now, and Mundo cani was a living, eating thing in his soul. Again and again against the night he saw the dog raising the horn over Worm's eye to plunge it in. Again and again in rhythm he heard the last words of the dun cow, "Mordecai fidei, it is all for you." Finally, "That should have been me," he said. "I should have gone down into the pit, not Mundo cani. I should have died instead of him." "So," Pertolote said. Then she probed deeper, still gently, but with a cold pressure. "And what else?" "Why, I am the leader. It was my duty to see such a thing and to do it, not the dog's. This is not right. Today is wrong. Tonight, now is wrong. I'm living a stupid, extended existence. I have no right to this life. It's his. It's Mundo cani's." "And that's why you work so hard during the day." "Oh, I don't know." "To busy yourself? To pay him back by breaking yourself? That's one thing. But what else, Chanticleer?" "What else? There is nothing else. A leader lost and a dog took over. A leader lived to be sick of his life. You've heard it. What do you mean, what else?" "What else do you owe Mundo cani?" "My life! Damn it, Pertolote, what else is there to give?" "Penance." "What?" "Penance. It is more than your life. It is that scrubbing of the past which you want so much. because it is confession. It is the new birth of the present, which you want so much, because it prepares for deliverance. The one is separated from the other by forgiveness. It is the honoring, Chanticleer, of the worth in his life, penance. You can tell him you are sorry. He will forgive you. For what? He went down and it should have been me. So? I've said so. For what else? Oh, Chanticleer, he knew he had to go down. Don't you understand that? There was never any question about who would make the sacrifice. Leader or not, it just wasn't your place to go. Cockatrice was yours, but Worm's Eye was his. So it was from the beginning. So it had to be. And so he told me when you were raving in the coop strange things about a cow. With neither fear nor hesitation, he told me this thing, this last thing left to do. He accepted it as destiny. This is not your sin, proud Chanticleer, and if you keep saying that it is, you protect yourself against the greater. You are blinding yourself. Penance for what else? Perlote, Chanticleer said. Stop. Say it. I can't. You know it? Yes. Then say it. Chanticleer shivered all over as the thing pushed its way into his throat. He could say it, perhaps into a hole in the ground. He could give it word, perhaps, when no one else was around. But to say it to Perlote, his wife, the one who spoke with Mundocani when no one else was speaking to him, and when Chanticleer himself... I despised him, Chanticleer said. So, said Perlote, this was your wickedness. He was making ready to die for us, and I didn't understand that. I judged him a traitor. I made his last moments lonely, and I despised him. Did you think that this was a secret, that you should hide it so long? No. But this, Chanticleer, this is your sin? Yes. The rooster was very meek right now, and a weasel below these two had developed in the recent minutes a very big ear. But now you have said it, Perlote said, and that is good. That is the beginning of your life now, because it is the ending of something, Chanticleer. Maybe one day you will say the same to Mundocani, and then he will be able to speak his forgiveness in your hearing, and that will complete the matter. Then you will be free of it, Chanticleer, she said full quietly on the maple limb. She waited until his attention had been turned from his sin unto her. I love you. Thank you, he said foolishly. Something else was trying to click in his mind. Something she had said not quite right or real. Whoa! Say it to Mundocani? Perlote, are you crazy? I saw him closed up underneath the earth. He was that. Mundocani was closed deep in the earth. The netherworld scar is a fearsome closing. So then, the poor dog is dead. No, he is alive. Under the earth, but alive. Dreadfully close to Worm, but alive. There was much Mundocani told me while you lay in your darkness and would not listen to him. He had a nose for intuition. He is alive, and only the bravest will go to him. Only the bravest will see him again. Perhaps you will, Chanticleer. I doubt, though, that John Wesley Weasel will have the opportunity. What? This little word from the smelly burrow below. Because that one has given up. What? He has gone into a little hole. He will never find the larger one from here, the one that goes down to the dog. But I understand that a weasel who has lost an ear should mourn his loss and feel an invalid thereafter. What? There are no more adventures, and very little courage left for a weasel with half a head. Surely there is no use in it if an ear is gone. John W's is not W's on account of their ears. He's a mouse, John mourns, you cut cackle. John can go to the netherworld as any rooster can, and he is sinner. Ha! And ha-ha to you. Because Mundocani was never anything to John Wesley but a carriage to carry him about. No friendship. Ha! Cried the weasel. Ha! 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 How about that? One more ha, John, Chanticleer began to shout at him, and I'll have your other ear for my pocketbook. A weasel is a dog's friend, too, is more love in a weasel than in a rooster, proud silly bird. John Wesley was fully out of his burrow now and bounding around the base of the maple tree, while Chanticleer leaned dangerously forward to spit his opinions at the weasel. "You lost no love for him when he saved you from cockatrice," roared the rooster, "when he carried you in his mouth. Then I saw, and I didn't hear a thank you come out of your mouth then, John Wesley Weasel." "Speaks a rooster, ha! A rooster once in the dog's mouth too, ha! Ha ha to you, rooster! His W's what dig, but roosters only flutter about. Go find the netherworld without a digger, W." "Just wait, you slow mope. I'll see that dog before you do. I'll find the hole into Worm's caverns before you scratch the surface. Ha!" As it happened, then, Pertolote fell asleep before either of these adversaries did. Far into the night they held lively conversations with one another, pointing out absurdities in each other's character and promising mighty promises, each to be fulfilled at an early date. But the sound of their brave chatter was good in Pertolote's ears. She had been successful. She slept peacefully. Here ends the 28th and final chapter of the story about Chanticleer and the keeping of Worm.